Okay, so we are starting with the session. So again, we'll take up a few questions on mathematics, look at the approaches, how to solve them, and try to get the best possible outcome as far as possible. So yeah, so we'll start with the first question. So some of the concepts could be repeated as and when we do. I mean, the idea is so that repetition will help you to remember it more. But yes, it's different sum, not the same sum. You need to be able to apply the same concepts in different questions, and that's the idea. Try to work on the sum. Inequality. One of the best ways to solve inequality is using the options. So try to work on the option and try to see if you can get the answer. When you're looking at options in inequality, there are two ways of approaching it. One is something called the borderline condition. So when you substitute the options, it has to be equal on both sides. That's a borderline condition. Second is trying to look at the values in between and seeing it satisfies the equation or not. So two ways of approaching the sum. So let's start with a borderline condition. The borderline condition, as I said, when you look at the substitute the options, it should give you an equal on both the sides. So what can you substitute? Now you can't substitute 0, because when you substitute 0, denominator will become 0. You can't substitute 2. That does not mean it is not the answer. It's possible to be the answer, but you can't substitute 2 and 0 because denominator becomes 0. You can substitute minus 1. For example, if I substitute minus 1, what do I get? 1 upon minus 3, right? And on the right hand side it comes 1 upon minus 2. They're not equal. Look, when you're substituting the options, they have to be equal on both sides. They're not equal. So B cannot be the answer. Same way, if I substitute 3 out here, 3 I can substitute. 1 upon 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 upon 6. They are again not equal. Since they are not equal, 3. So this also cannot be the answer. Coming to D option, if I substitute minus 2, I get 1 upon minus 2 minus 2. 1 upon 2 into minus 2. So 1 upon minus 4, 1 upon minus 4, equal on both sides. So minus 2 has to be in the answer. It's not in A option. So A can't be the answer. So D will be the answer. Minus 2 has to be in the answer because when you substitute minus 2, it becomes equal on both sides. And because it's equal on both sides, therefore the answer will be in D option. That's one way. That's how you substitute borderline and then try to go about it. Right. Hi Santosh. Right. Second approach is where you substitute some values in between. For example, if I substitute x equal to 1 in this case, looking first, it's in between the values. I get 1 upon 1 minus 2, 1 upon 2 into 1. There is 1 upon minus 1 and 1 upon 2. It does not satisfy. It should be other way. This is this way. So x equal to 1 doesn't satisfy. Therefore, A cannot be the answer. Right? B also cannot be the answer because B also has 1 in between. Okay, A has 1 in between, B has 1 in between. So A and B cannot be the answer. So what is left is C and D. But try to put a value which is there in one and not there in the other. For example, I can put 2.5. Okay, 2.5 is part of D but not part of C. So 1 upon 2.5 minus 2, which is 0.5. 1 upon 2.5 into 2, which is 5. So you get 2 and 0.2. Right, so satisfies. So 2.5 satisfies. Since 2.5 satisfies, D will be the answer because C doesn't have 2.5. So two ways. So one is borderline conditions, second substituting a option so that it should satisfy. So either way you can try to solve inequality. Both are good ways and fast ways of trying to get the answer. if I draw it, is convex polygon. Okay, so interior angle 7x is 7 times the exterior angle. You can use a formula which says that number of sides is equal to 360 upon exterior angle. So once you know this formula, you should be okay, because if you look at 7x plus x, 8x is 180. So x will become 180 upon 8, that is the exterior angle. Substitute out here, 360 upon 180 upon 8 will give you 60. So answer becomes 60. Normally sum of all the exterior angle one side become 360. Here x you have to do 8 times to make it 180. To 16 times to make it 360. 16 is the number of sides, right? For example, in a square, I mean just giving an example, 90 is the exterior angle. So to make it 360, you have to multiply by 4 times to make it 360. Sum of all the exterior angles one sided is 360. So based on that you can get the, so same way here, 1x 8 times if you do exterior angle becomes 180 degree. So 16 times you will get 360, 16 sides. Give you a hint, you can use that property which says that similar figures, if ratio of the length is a is to b, ratio of the area becomes a square is to b square, ratio of volume becomes a cube is to b cube. Okay, similar figures. Obviously the two cubes are similar to each other. So if you look at out here, you can find a ratio of the area cube A cube B. A is 36% less than B, so B is 100, then A is 64. Ratio of the area, corresponding area, similar figures areas. So area of B is 100, area of A will be 64. 36% less. So which is, if you look at 8 square and 10 square, so ratio of any length or side will be 8:10. Remember, if area is a square b square, length is a:b. So your area is 8 square 10 square, length is a:b. You want what percent is the length of side B more than A? Which 2 out of 8 more. 2 out of 8 more will become 25% more. So answer is A option. Right? So 2 more out of 8, so which is 25% is the answer. So just a simple property if you use, you get the answer quickly. One thing that is important is triplets, Pythagoras triplets, especially right angle triangle. You know AC is diameter. Diameter subtends the right angle at any point on the circle. And you should know 3, 4, 5, 5, 12, 13, 7, 24, 25, right, and 8, 15, 17. There are 4 triplets you should know. As well as any number, you can form a triplet, any odd number. For example, if I say 7 square is 49, you can break it up as 24 and 25. 5 square is 25, you can break it as 12 and 13. 3 square is 9, break it up as 4 and 5, difference of 1. So when 9 square is 81, you can break it up as 40 and 41. 11 square is 121, you can break it up as 60 and 61, and so on. Anyway, normally you should know only the first 4 triplets is relevant as far as exam is concerned. Now if you look at 724 is a right angle triangle, so 25. 7, 24, 25 is the triplet. Now you have 25 the hypotenuse, 20 is the side, which is 4:5. So third, 3 will be 3, 4, 5. So 15, 20, 25. So 3, 4, 5 or 15, 20, 25. Now area of right angle triangle is half into product of the perpendicular side. So half into 7 into 24, right, is 84. And here it is half into 15 into 20, which is 150. So total area is 84 plus 150, which is 234. Right? Area is 84 plus 150, which will give you total as 234. So 234 is the answer. So normally in this sum you assume 100 on what is percentage is given on. So they have asked percentage discount, which is the mark price. So you can assume mark price is 100 at one way. He has marked up the cost price 100%. So you can assume cost price is 100. Or you can say obtain profit percentage on selling price. So here selling price 100. So technically, since you're starting with the selling price, you can easily assume selling price is 100 and starts off. That's the easier way of going. Because from there you can find a cost price, from there you can get a mark price, and from there you can get a discount. Percentage discount is nothing but mark price minus selling price on mark price into 100. If I assume, say, selling price is 100, so he made a profit of 37.5% on selling price. So profit is 37.5. So cost price is nothing but selling price minus profit, which is 100 minus 37.5, 62.5. Now he marked up the cost price by 100%. That means the mark price is double of cost price. So mark price is double of cost price. Because markup of 100% means you double the value. So it becomes 2 into 62.5, 125. So mark price is 125. The selling price is 100. So discount is 25 on 125 into 100, which is 20%. The discount you're getting is 25, but on the mark price you calculate. So 25 on 125 into 100, which will become 20% discount. So it's easier to use selling price 100 and so on. I mean, you can find the cost price, you can find a mark price double, and from there you can find a discount 20%. So what you assume 100 makes a lot of difference in the way you calculate and how much you calculate. If you can assume the right values in terms of 100, it becomes much easier to calculate. If it assume the wrong values, it could take a longer time. Normally in most of the cases we assume cost price, but that could change based on how the question is framed. Fine. So with this we'll wind up. Good night and see you in the next. So next week again we'll have the same time, same session. So good night.